In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NHL games happening on October 14, 2023, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 2 picks for each game, 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NHL games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. New York Rangers versus Columbus Blue Jackets. A pair of teams from the Metropolitan Division lock up on the ice in search of a victory in the Buckeye State. The New York Rangers are on the road as they travel to face the Columbus Blue Jackets on Saturday night. New York opened their season with an emphatic 5-1 demolition of Buffalo on the road Thursday night. Columbus battled but ended up falling short against Philadelphia, losing 4-2 at home Thursday night in their season opener. In the last 10 meetings between the teams, the Rangers have a 7-3 advantage and have won the last 3 meetings. That includes a 4-0 victory on the road in the most recent matchup on April 8th. New York put together a solid showing in their whipping of Buffalo in their season opener on the road and now get to face a Columbus team that has plenty of issues. The Blue Jackets played tough hockey for coach Pascal Vincent, but they were unable to put the game in the win column. There aren't a ton of big offensive weapons for Columbus, who also lost defenseman Zach Werenski to injured reserve with a quad contusion. That's a blow for the Blue Jackets, as he is the team's anchor on the blue line. New York has depth and plenty of weapons offensively, backstopped by an elite goaltender. The New York Rangers are far and away the better team with the brighter future for the season. Coach Peter Laviolette should have this New York team scrapping for every loose puck, and the talent consisting of players like Artemi Panarin, Mika Zibanejad, and Chris Kreider. The Rangers should have the advantage on every line and should continue to step up throughout the 3 periods. The Rangers have won 6 of the last 8 games against the Blue Jackets. The Rangers should take care of business here and put this one in the win column as they roll to a 2-0 mark. So the New York Rangers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. New York fell under the total in their season opening game. Last season, the Rangers saw the under post a 44-35-3 record. The average total in their games last season was 5.96 goals per game, and that number cratered to 5.73 goals per game on the road. In the opener, the Blue Jackets fell under the total as they finished with a total of 6 goals against the number of 6.5 goals. Columbus saw the over post a 43-36-3 record in their games last season. The Blue Jackets saw an average total of 6.54 goals per game, mainly due to their horrific play in their own end. Columbus saw that number climb to 6.63 goals per game on home ice while getting outscored by 46 goals in those games. Shesterkin should keep the Blue Jackets in check. Merzlikins allowed 4.23 goals per game last season, but this should be a lot better as he continues to get more experience in the net. 7 goals feels like we are expecting too much out of the Columbus offense specifically and should not hit their team implied total. The under has hit in 8 of their previous 11 games against one another. Igor Shesterkin and Elvis Merzlikins should be able to keep this game extremely low scoring, as they are 2 of the better goaltenders in the entire sport. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Minnesota Wild versus Toronto Maple Leafs. It's an interconference clash between a pair of teams that opened their season on a positive note as they lock up in the 6 Roman 9 looking to remain unbeaten. The Minnesota Wild are on the road as they make the trip north to face the Toronto Maple Leafs Saturday night. Minnesota opened their season by blanking Florida 2-0 at home Thursday night in their previous contest. Toronto rallied to drop Montreal 6-5 in a shootout at home Wednesday night in their season opener. In the last 10 meetings, the Maple Leafs own a 7-2 advantage and have won the last 3 meetings, including a 2-1 overtime win at home in the most recent contest on February 24th. The Minnesota Wild started their 2023-2024 season on the right foot thanks to a 2-0 win over the Florida Panthers in their last matchup. Brock Faber and Joel Eriksson accounted for both Minnesota goals in the winning effort, with Eriksson adding an assist as well, while Matt Boldy, Kirill Kaprizov, and Matt Zuccarello each added an assist for the Wild in the victory. Philip Gustafsson stopped all 41 shots faced in the winning effort for the shutout to improve to 1-0 on the year. The Toronto Maple Leafs started the year with a 6-5 shootout win over Montreal in their last matchup. Austin Matthews led the charge with 3 goals, while John Tavares had 3 assists, and John Klingberg had a pair of assists. William Nylander added a goal and an assist, and Noah Gregor had a goal as well, while Mitch Marner and Morgan Reilly each chipped in assists. As well in the victory, Ilya Samsonov gave up 5 goals on 24 shots faced in the winning effort to improve to 1-0 on the year. The Minnesota Wild opened with an impressive 2-0 victory over the Florida Panthers in the Twin Cities on Thursday night as Philip Gustavsson turned aside all 41 shots that he faced. Marc-Andre Fleury is projected to make the start against the Maple Leafs in the team's first road game, but it is likely difficult for Wild head coach Dean Evason to get away from Gustavsson. The Wild struggled down the stretch on the road last season, winning just twice in the final 7 games away from home. Minnesota has also won just 2 of its last 8 games against Atlantic Division opponents, although one of the wins was against Florida on Thursday, of course. The Maple Leafs were involved in a wild affair on Wednesday night on Bay Street and Lakeshore Boulevard. Their original 6 rivals, the Montreal Canadiens, paid a visit, and Toronto was supposed to steamroll them. It didn't happen, as Montreal forced overtime with a 5-5 tie through regulation. A scoreless overtime led to a shootout, and the Leafs escaped with the 6-5 win and 2 points. But Ilya Samsonov was not at his best, and that will have to change against a disciplined Wild team. Toronto has posted a 17-7 record in its last 24 tries against Western Conference foes, while going 11-4 in the last 15 against Central Division teams. Austin Matthews is coming off a hat trick, and the Leafs roll into this one with a lot of offensive confidence. The Leafs are also 4-1 in their last 5 at home against the Wild and 5-1 in the last 6 meetings overall. Despite the results, the Wild's defensive efforts are cause for concern. They can't be relying on Gustavsson to stop 40-plus shots a night, and Toronto is absolutely the team that will make you pay. The Leafs won the last 3 meetings last season, and their lone loss against the Wild came in a shootout. Matthews is already flying high, which is a nightmare for the opposition. With momentum in his corner, I expect a full blitz on this soft Minnesota defense. On the other side, Toronto's defense should be able to handle the Wild's offense, though I'm not sure they can stifle them entirely. Florida did all they could, and Minnesota still managed 2 goals. That said, Toronto's last 2 wins over the Wild came by just 1 goal. We know Toronto has a prolific offensive unit, one that was on full display in the win over Montreal. With that said, the Maple Leafs have to be better with possessing the puck and playing in their own end. There were multiple giveaways that led to Montreal scoring chances in the opener, and that is something that Sheldon Keefe has likely stressed in the last couple of days. Minnesota is good defensively, though they didn't do a whole lot offensively in their opener against a similarly wide-open Florida team. The Wild can ill afford to give up 40-plus shots to the Maple Leafs with their crew of snipers. Look for Toronto to find a way to earn the home win here with a better showing in their own end of the ice. So the Toronto Maple Leafs money line is our full game side pick. Last season, these two split their 4 games against the total, with 2 of them finishing with 7 total goals. With just 21 shots on the goal, Minnesota still managed to sneak 2 of them by. I think they can produce more opportunities in this game and possibly pump up the scoring a bit in the process. Toronto is an offensive force, proven in their season opener. Their top player came out of the gate on fire, and once he gets going, he is very hard to stop. Matthews surely won't be notching hat tricks on the daily, but his presence alone makes things easier on his line mates, and then the rest follow suit. The over is 6-1 in the Wild's last 8 games after scoring 2 goals. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Vancouver Canucks versus Edmonton Oilers. The Vancouver Canucks started 2023-2024 like no one quite expected, with a massive upset at home. And now, for their second game of the year, they will hit the road to take on the superstar duo of the Edmonton Oilers, who have big expectations on their shoulders this season. After an 8-1 outing in their first game of the year, both teams will come into this one with very different momentum and with differing expectations in 2023-2024. This matchup should be an intriguing barometer for where these teams are early in their season. The Canucks faced off against the Edmonton Oilers in the first game of the season, and they sure looked impressive. The Canucks offense scored 8 goals against the Edmonton Oilers, and that was enough to secure the 7-goal victory. Brock Boeser finished with 8 shots on goal and 4 goals. JT Miller and Elias Pettersson finished with 1 goal and 3 shots on goal. Quinn Hughes finished with 3 assists. In this game, the Canucks are going to need the offense to be good here. The Oilers have high expectations for this season, but if they want to be competitive, The defense is going to need to be a lot better here. Jack Campbell and Stuart Skinner both faced 16 shots and both gave up 4 goals. Leon Draisaitl was the only goal scorer and he found the back of the net once. Connor McDavid did have an assist, but only 2 shots on goal, and they need the offense to be better here. Most importantly in this game though, the defense is going to need to find a way to get going. The Vancouver Canucks head to Alberta to take on the Edmonton Oilers in the second part of a home series on Saturday. The Canucks absolutely dominated in an 8-1 victory in their home opener as they came out of the gates flying. Edmonton needs to find a way to rebound quickly, so expect them to come out with a vengeance. The first game produced 9 goals, which told us a few things. The first is that Vancouver's offense is confident and alive. That should be no surprise with the amount of talent they have, but they are already showing their strength. The other thing is that the Oilers still have major holes defensively, which is an issue. Until those problems are fixed, we can expect the Oilers to allow multiple goals against, especially when the Canucks are playing well. The Edmonton Oilers are going to get the benefit of the doubt at home, and they are the better team on paper. However, we're not going to overlook what happened to these teams on Wednesday, where the Canucks completely dominated for 60 minutes. Yes, it's one game and the venue changes, but we're getting big plus money with a Vancouver team that mopped the floor with Edmonton. Maybe lightning strikes in the same place twice, so the Vancouver Canucks money line is our full game side pick. While the 8-1 victory from the Canucks was certainly an outlier performance that no one expected, it revealed just how much of a liability the Oilers have in net with Jack Campbell. So now, once again, it appears their only hope of victory is to once again win high-powered offensive games. In 2022 to 2023, the Oilers had 2 players score over 125 points, while the Canucks started with 8 goals led by Garland and Elias Pettersson. And while Thatcher Demko has the ability to steal many games for Vancouver, this should be an intriguing matchup, but one that will feature many goals once again. This is a game that could have 12 or 13 goals total scored, and this game is going to be a shootout. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.